Welcome to Raj Malhotra's IAS Academy. I'm Surbhi Sardana and this is Prelim Sprint 2022, and here we discuss the most important topics for UPSC Civil Services Prelims of this year. Yesterday we discussed some specialized agencies of United Nations, and today we are covering the rest of the specialized agencies of UN, and the first one is UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. So what is UNESCO basically? Let's see. So UNESCO is basically an organization which is responsible for promoting peace in the world, social justice in the world, human rights and international security. And how does it do it? Through international cooperation, educational, science और cultural programs carry out करके ह्यूमन राइट्स और जस्टिस और इंटरनेशनल पीस ये लोग सिक्योर करते हैं. देर आर मेनी प्रोग्राम्स दैट आर रन बाय यूनेस्को फ्रॉम टाइम टू टाइम टू रिकग्नाइज एरियाज एंड वैल्यूज़ ऑफ इंटरनेशनल इंपॉर्टेंस जो कि ह्यूमैनिटी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, एंड उनको रिकग्नाइज करके उनकी वैल्यू इंक्रीज की जाती है. सो देर आर 195 मेंबर स्टेट्स. हेड क्वार्टर्स आर इन पेरिस, फ्रांस, नॉट एनीवेयर इन द यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स. सो रिमेंबर दिस. अगेन दिस इज द सेम पॉइंट दैट एजुकेशनल इंटरनेशनल cooperation is carried out on the basis of educational, science and cultural spheres. It is known for the World Heritage Mission. What is World Heritage Mission? UNESCO recognizes World Heritage sites. There are many World Heritage sites recognized by UNESCO in India also, and there are three categories: natural, man-made and mixed category. इन तीन कैटेगरी में कोई भी ऐसी अगर साइट है जो कि फॉल कर रही है विच इज़ ऑफ इनवैल्यूएबल इम्पॉर्टेंस टू ह्यूमैनिटी, सो यूनेस्को रिकग्नाइजेज इट, एंड उस कंट्री की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हो जाती है इन पार्टनरशिप विद यूनेस्को टू प्रिजर्व दैट पर्टिकुलर साइट. सो इट पब्लिशेज 2 रिपोर्ट्स. ये 2 रिपोर्ट्स इसकी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इनफैक्ट वन ऑफ द क्वेश्चन हैज़ बीन आस्क्ड ऑन जेंडर पैरिटी इंडेक्स previously in UPSC exam. So Global Education Monitoring Report is released by UNESCO, and Gender Parity Index is released by UNESCO again. This next part is Man and Biosphere Reserve Program. What is it? It is there for protecting biosphere reserves across the world. There are many biosphere reserves recognized by UNESCO in India as well. So ये जो program है, it is headed by UNESCO. Now this very recent one is the Global Geopark. It has been in news also. Geopark, as the name signifies, जो भी areas of continuous geography which have a very important geological significance, कि वो एंशियंट टाइम से, मेटामॉर्फिक एज से, किसी भी पुरानी एज से उनका ऐसा कुछ ताल्लुकात है कि वो आज के टाइम में इंपॉर्टेंस रखते हैं. सो दे आर रिकग्नाइज्ड एज जियो पार्क्स. दे आर सिंगल यूनिफाइड जोग्राफिकल एरियाज वेयर साइट्स एंड लैंडस्केप्स ऑफ इंटरनेशनल जियोलॉजिकल सिग्निफिकेंस आर मैनेज्ड विद अ holistic concept of protection, education and sustainable development. See, the first step to protecting anything of something that is valuable to humanity, a country or a particular area, is to recognize it. एक बार जब recognition मिल जाती है उसके बाद आप funding and protection initiatives arrange कर सकते हैं. So UNESCO does that. UNESCO takes the first step of recognition of these एरियाज ऑफ इंटरनेशनल इंपॉर्टेंस, ग्लोबल जियोपार्क नेटवर्क से, मैन एंड बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व प्रोग्राम नेटवर्क से और वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट नेटवर्क से. सो वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट्स रिकग्नाइज करके. देयर इज अनदर वन ऑफ द मोस्ट रिसेंट initiatives of UNESCO which was started in 2004. It is known as the UNESCO Creative City Network. Creative cities क्या हैं? Creative cities वो हैं जो कि creativity, any form of creativity को अपने एग्जिस्टेंस में साथ लेकर चलती हैं. सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, वाराणसी हैज़ बीन रिकग्नाइज्ड as a UNESCO creative city for its music. Again, Jaipur has been recognized as a creative city for its crafts and folk arts. Chennai has been recognized again for music, and Hyderabad for gastronomy, and Mumbai in film category. So there are many categories जो कि creative arts में recognize की जाती हैं, and UNESCO from time to time recognizes these cities so that that culture of creativity can be preserved and protected and passed on to the future generations. So this is about UNESCO. Now we'll talk a little bit in brief about World Health Organization. What is it? The World Health Organization is again a specialized agency of United Nations which is responsible for directing and coordinating matters of international health importance. For example, कोई भी अगर health crisis होता है on a world level या अगर किसी poor country में health crisis हो रहा है, or it can turn into a pandemic. For example, the COVID-19 pandemic also. Naming a particular infection, that is also done by World Health Organization, and recognizing a particular disease as a threat to humanity, that is also done by WHO, and sending humanitarian aid, that is also coordinated by World Health Organization. All the funding is under its own control. जो भी budgetary matters होते हैं, they are taken by World Health Assembly itself. The headquarters are in Geneva, Switzerland, and it has a membership of 194 member countries. It has one of the highest membership because health is something that every country is concerned with. So membership is very high as compared to other specialized agencies. There is one recent development here, Global Center for Traditional Medicine. As the name indicates, Center for Traditional Medicine. So India has one of the richest legacies of treating people through its traditional medicine system. So this global center will be set up in India. It is being developed in India, and what is it for? It is for research, training and awareness of traditional complementary medicine. For example, Ayurveda, homeopathy, not homeopathy, Ayurveda generally, and whatever are the complementary medicine systems as compared to what we have prevalent in contemporary times. So that is the mandate of WHO. It carries out many humanitarian activities and many missions from time to time, especially in poor countries. So United States is the biggest contributor of funds to World Health Organization, and there has been a crisis that United States has been leaving World Health Organization. So it is one of the most important contributors, one of the richest countries of the world, and one of the most important contributors to almost all the UN organizations. So what are the reports published by WHO? Let's briefly see. These are very important, just keep them in mind. Sometimes UPSC will put a question directly in your exam that what this report is published by which particular agency. So even if a report from here is not asked, if you know that World Health Organization publishes only these reports, then you can eliminate rest of the statements and reach to your right answer. So World Health Report, Global Nutrition Report, World Vision Report, Ambient Air Pollution Report, जो हमारी country में भी air pollution के जो parameters set किए जाते हैं, there are reports released by CPCB from time to time. So they are in parallel with, they are in consonance, they are on lines of this Ambient Air Pollution Report. World Report on Hearing, that's the 5th report. Moving on, International Maritime Organization or IMO. As the name indicates, तो maritime related जो भी pollution, जो भी trade या जो भी shipping activities होंगी, that is seen by this particular organization. Let's look at this in detail. So basically, International Maritime Organization, what it does is it creates a regulatory framework. एक regulatory framework develop किया जाता है shipping industry के लिए, international shipping के लिए, so that it is the standard setting authority for the safety, security and environmental performance of international shipping. ये जो this point of environmental performance of international shipping, this is very important. इसी से branches निकलती हैं काफ़ी conventions की which have been started, which have been led by International Maritime Organization. So if you see anything concerned with the shipping industry, the maritime sphere of influence, and this some regulatory framework, then for sure it is being led by International Maritime Organization only. So it is the only United Nations specialized agency which is headquartered in UK, United Kingdom में इसके headquarters है, and objective is that improvement of maritime safety for the seafarers also. For example, जो नेवी में काम कर रहे हैं या जो ट्रेडिंग में इन्वॉल्व है थ्रू द शिपिंग इंडस्ट्री, सेफ्टी इंश्योर करना उनके लिए भी, एंड डेवलपिंग सम एनवायरमेंटल स्टैंडर्ड्स. फॉर एग्जांपल, पोल्यूशन इज कैरिड आउट इन इंटरनेशनल सीज, हु सीज दैट? सो ऑयल स्पिल्स जो होती हैं या जो शिप से या कार्गो से जो भी बैलेस्ट वाटर रिलीज़ होता है या कुछ भी पोल्यूशन जो कि शिपिंग इंडस्ट्री कैरी आउट कर रही है इंटरनेशनल वाटर्स में, everything is seen by this particular organization, and they cover all aspects of international shipping, including ship design, construction, equipment, manning, operation and disposal of ships. So that is very important for India, this particular organization, because in Alang in Gujarat we have the biggest shipbreaking industry of the world. So that becomes a very important organization for India, and it covers accidental operational oil pollution, oil spills जो हो जाते हैं, along with different types of pollution by chemicals. For example, a ship breaks down or a ship sinks या chemical release हो जाता है कुछ भी उनकी cargo की वजह से. Goods in package form, sewage, garbage and air pollution. Every kind of pollution is seen by this particular organization. This convention is very important here, which is called the Ballast Water Management Convention. So जो ships होती हैं जब वो एक पोर्ट से स्टार्ट होती हैं दूसरे पोर्ट पर लैंड करने के लिए, सो दे कैरी सम वाटर विद देम. When they carry that sea water with them in their ballast, that is known as ballast water, and उसमें कुछ native species होती हैं fish की. Native species of a particular country can become an invasive species for a different country, जहाँ पर वो दूसरी country में जाएंगे और वो water release करेंगे. And some invasive species are, you know, so threatening कि वो जो local biodiversity होती है of fish वो उसको पूरा ख़त्म ही कर देती है. So that is a convention here adopted by IMO in 2004. And it has come into force in 2017. It aims to prevent the spread of harmful aquatic organisms from one region to another. So this is a very simple convention. These are some other conventions which are led by IMO. In case you see one of them in the exam, just download the PDF after this lecture and read the entire content that is written here and save it for revision before your exam. The next one is the Fall Convention, or facilitation of international maritime traffic. This is a very simple convention again led by IMO. What it does is जो भी international data है, एक ship कब अपने एक port से निकली है, whenever a ship has left a particular port, the information of members on the ship, or when the ship is in international seas or when it is reaching another port. So all that information is has been decided to be collated internationally कि internationally एक data system बनाएंगे जिसमें सारी information share की जाएगी. So it will help them fight piracy also, it will help them fight pollution also, it will help them increase the efficiency of international trade also. So this is all about the convention. It is a single window for data to enable all the information required by public authorities in connection with arrival, stay and departure of ships, persons and cargo to be submitted via a single portal without duplication. So that's all about IMO. Now we'll study about a very important organization, that is WIPO, or World Intellectual Property Organization. See, there are 15 specialized agencies of United Nations, and today we'll be covering all of them. They have some independent functioning. Specialized agencies की कुछ independent functions होते हैं, उनके funds independent होते हैं, but they work under the UN system. So make sure that you prepare all these 15 in detail. After this, UN part will be done and we'll be moving on to the next subject. So let's read about WIPO, or World Intellectual Property Organization. What is it? As the name indicates, जो intellectual property rights होते हैं international level पर, whatever intellectual property rights are there, it protects them and sets standards for them. So as simple as that is its objective. So intellectual property rights में what does WIPO include? First of all comes your industrial property. Industrial property में आपके जो भी patents होते हैं, inventions हो गई, trademarks हो गई, या industrial designs हो गए, industrial symbols, industrial designs, anything like that. So that is covered by WIPO. And secondly, copyrighted materials. Some intellectual property जो कि एक art से release हो रही है. For example, literally, musical, photographic and other artistic works. So that are actually created by someone's intellect या किसी की creative capacity से create हो रही है. So all kind of rights, all kinds of those rights are regulated by World Intellectual Property Organization. Its headquarters are in Switzerland, in Geneva. There is an important convention regarding this, or important treaty, which is called the Marrakesh Treaty of WIPO. See, now there are so many books which have copyrights and which cannot be reproduced without giving a hefty amount of sum to the writer or to the publisher. तो जो there are many people who are visually impaired या कि जो blind people होते हैं, तो वो ऐसी books को पहली बात उनके लिए accessible नहीं होती. Such books are not accessible for them because they cannot read such books. Secondly, that kind of मतलब एक छोटी organization copyrights के लिए pay नहीं कर सकती. So this treaty was signed under the aegis of World Intellectual Property Organization, and it brings all countries together कि जो भी blind या visually impaired लोग हैं उनके लिए हम लोग reading material develop करें which is friendly for them, in which they can study that particular material. So that is the aim. It is to facilitate access to published works for persons who are blind, visually impaired and print disabled. India was the first country to sign this treaty. This treaty was signed around in 2018 or 19, and India became the first country to sign this. In fact, India has also launched many national initiatives, national level initiatives to help visually impaired people read better and make content accessible to blind people or visually impaired people. So the governments under this treaty, अगर ये treaty को उन्होंने sign किया है, ratify किया है, then they are obliged to adopt laws authorizing the conversion of books into accessible formats such as braille, e-text, audio and large print by designated organizations. So that is the mandate, that is the purpose of this particular treaty. Another one is Performers and Phonograms Treaty. Few years back it was recognized जो म्यूज़िक प्रोड्यूसर्स या सिनेमा प्रोड्यूसर्स के जो राइट्स थे दे वर रिकॉग्नाइज्ड इन इंडिया बाय पासिंग फ्यू नेशनल लॉज एंड देयर राइट्स वर रिकॉग्नाइज्ड एंड कॉपीराइट के लिए उनके लिए कॉपीराइट वाज मेड मोर एक्सेसिबल एंड फंडिंग वाज मेड मोर एक्सेसिबल दैट वॉट एवर द रेम्यूनरेशन दे आर गेटिंग फ्रॉम देयर क्रिएशंस दैट विल बी better. So that was in consonance with this Performers and Phonograms Treaty. Again, this is to protect the interest of people producing music and other creative arts. So, this is also working under World Intellectual Property Organization. So that's all what you have to remember. Here we've given a very detailed content. This much is not required for the exam, but just for understanding and just for revision, you can download the PDF and read this entire content. The next one is the very important World Bank Group. It has 5 organizations under it. World Bank is a separate entity and World Bank Group is something very different. So it's very important that you understand the concept of World Bank Group here itself. So let's begin. So this family of 5 international organizations that make leveraged kind of loans to developing countries. What are these 5 international organizations? First is IBRD, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Second is IDA, International Development Association, International Finance Corporation, MIGA, Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, and International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. First of all, ये जो पहली 3 है IBRD, IDA and IFC. These are specialized agencies of United Nations. बाकी 2 नहीं है. India is a member of first 4 of them. ये जो Investment Settlement Disputes वाली organization है, इसका India member नहीं है. India is not a member of ICSID. So what they do is that IBRD and IDA, the first 2 organizations, clubbed together, then they are known as the World Bank. इन 2 organizations को इकट्ठे बोला जाता है World Bank. What they do is जो poor countries होती हैं, developing countries होती हैं, उनकी governments को या उनके कुछ projects को preferential rates पर loans दिए जाते हैं, interest rates, very low interest rates पर loan दिए जाते हैं या फिर grants दे दिए जाते हैं so that they can develop their own countries. The next 3, about studying about IFC and MIGA and ICSID, they are basically to strengthen the private sector. Private sector अगर invest करता है developing countries में या poor countries में तो वहाँ पर employment opportunities ज़्यादा होती हैं. Employment opportunities increase with the incoming of private sector. So what they do is they provide sovereign guarantee या insurance to the private sector for investing in developing countries. And ICSID is basically a dispute settlement body. India recognizes its own dispute settlement body, so India is not a member of ICSID, though it has been nudged again and again to become a member. So what is this international health partnership? World Bank and World Health Organization came together to launch this international health partnership, and this was just to improve the health of citizens in developing countries. So just remember, in case a question is asked, that what is this IHP plus about. Again, the second one is Clean Air Initiative. Again, it is a World Bank initiative to advance innovative ways to improve air quality in the cities through partnership in selected regions of the world by sharing knowledge and experiences. So if Delhi, agar Delhi becomes successful in fighting its air pollution, it can share its knowledge and experience with another member of this Clean Air Initiative. These are some of the reports by World Bank. This is a very comprehensive list. Remember this: Doing Business Report, Global Economic Prospects, Global Financial Development Report, International Debt Statistics, World Development Report, World Development Indicators, Poverty and Shared Prosperity. Remember this for eliminating statements. This is a tough thing, but even if you can solve 1 or 2 questions in your prelims exam by learning about the reports, nothing better than that. So moving on to International Monetary Fund, it was conceived at a UN conference in Bretton Woods in July 1944. After the after this World War II, it was in Bretton Woods conference that it was conceived. Earlier, it had just 44 countries. Now its membership has expanded. What IMF does is, अगर किसी कंट्री को BOP क्राइसिस हो रहा है, बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट क्राइसिस इज देयर इन अ कंट्री, सो इट हेल्प्स दोज कंट्रीज ऑन सर्टेन conditions. For example, in the 1991 economic crisis that India had, so IMF gave us loans in exchange of gold, but there were certain restrictions. There were LPG reforms had to be carried out by India. So IMF basically development के लिए loans नहीं देता, unlike the World Bank, but it gives loans to countries on certain conditions, on certain terms and conditions, to improve international trade and to liberalize global trade, improve globalization. So what you have to remember from IMF is SDR. SDR is basically how much reserve of money a particular country has kept with IMF. IMF works like a bank also in a certain way. तो एक country ने कितना deposits रखा है IMF के पास, that is known as SDR. And depending on the SDR or economic capacity of a country, IMF में voting share होता है. For example, in United Nations General Assembly, what we saw when we did General Assembly, we saw every country has one vote. But in IMF, there is a bias कि जितना ज़्यादा आपका SDR या गोल्ड का कंट्रीब्यूशन है या जितनी इकोनॉमिक कैपेसिटी है एक कंट्री की ज़्यादा, उतना ज़्यादा उसकी वोटिंग पावर है. सो इंडिया हैज़ अ वेरी लो वोटिंग शेयर. India's quota is around 2.76% and China has around 6.41, and USA has one of the highest quotas, that is 17.46%. Again, a rough idea of these percentages is very important. So many of the critical crucial decisions of IMF require 85% of voting, 85% majority. तो उसमें around 18% तो US का ही share है. So US plays a very critical role. तभी जो regional banks है, ADB, NDB, they have come up with time so that countries like India, China or other small countries or developing countries can get loans from these particular banks, and they don't have to go to IMF, which is considered as a very biased organization nowadays. So what are the reports released by IMF? IMF first is the World Economic Outlook, and the second is Global Financial Stability Report. Moving on to International Civil Aviation Organization, as the name suggests, and you can see in the picture also here, that it regulates the civil aviation sector. So it was, what you have to remember here is the Chicago Convention on International Civil Aviation, and its secretariat is in Canada, Montreal, Canada. It is a French-speaking state of Canada, and what it does is it sets the standards and regulations necessary for aviation security, airplanes की या जो भी whatever vehicles we have flying in the air, their security, efficiency, environmental side से कि वो कितना pollution produce कर रहे हैं, and what are the measures need to regulate that, all of that is seen by the ICAO itself. So it introduced recently a scheme to measure carbon emissions from these aircrafts. It is known as CORSIA, or Carbon Offsetting and Reporting Scheme for International Aviation. So in case if this question is asked, you should be able to relate it with International Civil Aviation Organization, or if this short form is asked, you should be able to know that whatever carbon emissions are taking place from these aircraft carriers or aircrafts basically, not carriers. So whatever emissions are taking place, this is related to those. Moving on. The last one here is the World Meteorological Organization. So whatever is related to meteorology on the international level, that is seen by this particular organization. So it is a specialized agency of United Nations for weather and climate, operational hydrology and related geophysical sciences. So it has that very, it is the authoritative voice of United Nations on these matters, on weather, climate and water. Again, its secretariat is located in Geneva, and it provides through its members, काफ़ी सारे members को duties allotted होती हैं, and they provide forecast for floods, droughts or any meteorology related event. For example, even if an earthquake has been forecasted by a particular country, so information through this particular network is sent to the other country which might be affected by this particular natural disaster. So it monitors and forecasts the transport of chemicals and oil spills, forest fires, volcanic ash, haze and nuclear isotopes. So anything that can impact the geology or meteorology, that is seen by this particular organization, and it is regulated by this. So it also draws world attention to the depletion of ozone layer. This is very important. because there are many organizations working, we have many conventions working for the depletion or working for the for protection of ozone layer. So WMO is the reporting authority. यहाँ पर report होता है and this is the particular organization that is working in this regard. So India has been designated as a nodal center for preparing flash flood forecast by the WMO. Flash floods अगर हमारी neighboring nations में होते हैं, पाकिस्तान, श्रीलंका, बांग्लादेश, so India is the nodal center for informing them very much in advance, and India will develop a customized model that can issue advance warning of floods in Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Myanmar and Thailand. The next is the IPCC 6th assessment report of 2021. See, IPCC की जो first report आई थी, उसके बाद United Nations Framework on Convention, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change was brought into picture. So ये जो assessment reports होती हैं, they are very important from examination point of view. They are very wide. So just go through a summary, or we'll be covering a summary of this particular report in one of our short lectures before prelims. So what is IPCC? United Nations Environment Program in partnership with World Meteorological Organization have set up IPCC in 1988. So it is a body of world's leading climate experts. It provides reports on the current state of knowledge in climate change and its potential environmental and socio-economic impact. So this report is very important, and just remember that on after IPCC launched its first report on climate change, UNFCCC was brought into picture. So that's all for today. ITU, International Telecommunication Union, not a very important organization, but telecom से related जो भी internet data services या telecom से related जो भी partnerships global level पे carry होती हैं, जो भी regulations are there, so that is carried out by ITU. Again, its secretariat is in Geneva, Switzerland, and apart from the member countries, it has partnership with private sector entities too. So that's all for today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Download the PDF for this presentation from the link in the description below, and stay tuned, keep working hard. See you with another discussion tomorrow.